Every day, I live my life with a ventilator. Plastic tubing connects this machine to a piece of plastic in my throat. This machine pushes air in and out of my airways, allowing my body to breathe. For me, this machine is just another medical device. It is no different than a blood glucose monitor or a wheelchair. However, many people are often frightened by the thought that a ventilator sustains me from day to day. And many people have questions about what it is like to live on life support. Join me this week as I discuss 5 questions I am most frequently asked about my ventilator. The one question I am most frequently asked is, what does it feel like to breathe on a ventilator? I am never sure how to answer this question because breathing on a ventilator feels natural for me. I initiate a breath and the ventilator completes the work needed to breathe. It takes very little effort and feels just like how you normally breathe. When I first got a ventilator, it took some time to adjust to having a ventilator breathe for me. My body would sometimes become tense and resist the machine. I would use precious energy to attempt to breathe on my own, and my muscles would fight against the machine. However, adjusting to the ventilator happened fairly quickly once I learned how to relax and let the machine do all the work. Having my ventilator breathe for me is a wonderful blessing. I can go off my ventilator and breathe on my own. However, my lung muscles fatigue quickly. When I need to reconnect to my ventilator, I am often gasping for breath and extremely tired. When I connect to my ventilator, it feels as though a tremendous weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I no longer have to use all my energy to fight to breathe, and my muscles relax. People often assume if your tubing becomes disconnected from your tracheostomy tube, this is a medical emergency. They believe you must reconnect the person back to the ventilator as soon as possible because every second the person is off the ventilator means the person is at risk of suddenly dying. This belief is wrong. When we breathe, we pause between breaths. It is natural to go 3 to 5 seconds without taking a breath. So when a person is disconnected from his ventilator, it is necessary to reconnect the person back to the ventilator, but it does not have to be done at lightning fast speed. Moreover, if you have ever gone swimming, you can hold your breath for 15 to 20 seconds without going into respiratory distress. This is the same for someone breathing on a ventilator. He can survive 15 to 20 seconds, and often for a longer period of time, without being attached to the ventilator and suffer no harm. So if the ventilator becomes disconnected, it is necessary to reconnect the ventilator, but it does not have to be done as if it is a life or death situation. Staying calm and reconnecting the person back to the ventilator is all that is needed. Many people assume if you use a ventilator, this means your lungs do not work. This may be true for some individuals who use a ventilator due to lung disease such as COPD. However, many people who use ventilators do so for other reasons. For me, I have a disease called mitochondrial disease, which affects my muscles. My lungs work. However, the muscles the body uses to expand the lungs do not work. This means my body is unable to take a breath in. Without being able to breathe in, my body is not able to breathe out and get rid of carbon dioxide. This means carbon dioxide builds up in my blood and will kill me when the levels become too high. My ventilator uses high pressure to force air into my lungs. Once air is forced into my lungs, my body is able to exchange carbon dioxide and oxygen in my lungs. When the ventilator stops forcing air into my lungs naturally collapse and exhale on their own. While it is true, some people who use a ventilator use oxygen. Many people who use ventilators do not use oxygen. As previously explained, a ventilator pushes air in and out of the lungs. On the other hand, oxygen is needed because there is a defect which inhibits the body from effectively using oxygen in the lungs. In short, a person uses a ventilator because he cannot breathe on his own. A person uses oxygen because his lungs do not properly exchange oxygen into the bloodstream. Although most of our electronic devices, such as cell phones, tablets, and computers, have batteries, many people erroneously believe ventilators, devices which are needed to sustain life, do not have batteries. This is a false assumption and would be very deadly if it was true. Thankfully, ventilators do have batteries. When the power is disconnected from my ventilator, it automatically switches over to battery power. My ventilator has an internal and external battery. Together, the batteries on my ventilator last about 6 to 8 hours. If I need more battery power, I can change out the external battery. I also have a car adapter, which allows the ventilator to run via the cigarette lighter. If the batteries fail on the ventilator, a person can be ventilated via an ambu bag. This bag attaches to the tracheostomy tube. The bag is then squeezed once every 5 seconds to maintain a breathing rate of 12 breaths per minute. Manually ventilating a person is not a long-term solution, but it gives you valuable time to find a place which has electricity to plug in the ventilator, or to get to a medical facility which has a ventilator. Recently, there has also been another option available for powering a ventilator. Many newer vehicles on the market have electrical outlets in them. You will need to check the owner's manual, but in many vehicles, you can plug in the ventilator into the vehicle's electrical outlet. Thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe down below. I hope you have a great day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.